everybody, it's Aaron at Warmouth, and today we're going to find out if paint changes the sound of an electric guitar, so stick around. Ooh, doggies, this should be a fun one. For this test, I'm going to be using this Warmouth Telly replacement body, which you've already seen before in the solid versus chambered versus thin line video. This is the solid one. I'm going to be playing some clips. I'm going to send it off to get it painted, and then I'm going to repeat the clips, and we are going to find out if that paint changed the tone of this guitar. And just like my last shootout video, I'm going to be going straight out of the guitar into my deluxe reverb reissue. All the overdrive parts will be a Bad Monkey, and I'll be miking this up with an SM57. All right, let's go. All right, and there you have it. Before I go on, I just want to reiterate that the body that I used in both of those sets of clips is the exact same body. The body that's underneath this shell pink finish is the same body from that first round of clips. I like to call this the Pepto-Bismol caster. And incidentally, the pickups that I used are a set of Lindy Fralin Blues Specials, which are stellar in my opinion. They sound exactly like a Telly should sound. And the bridge is our Wilkinson In-Tune Telly bridge. I'll link to all that stuff in the description. And by the way, I waited for probably about 2 months for this to be painted. So if you're somebody that has a body that's in paint right now, our paint department is very backed up. I waited in line just like everybody else, even with my inside connections. I still had to wait in line. So there was a lot of time that passed between those sets of clips. The good thing is because the pickup is connected to the bridge and connected to the pick guard, the heights, the distance between the strings, everything stayed exactly the same. I didn't make any adjustments. I just took that whole unit off and it put it right back on exactly the way it was. So all that stuff was accounted for. Very, very few variables in this test. Really, the only one is just my playing, and I did my best to recreate it, 2 months later. Human beings are the ones that play guitars, so there's always going to be a little bit of variances. I did my best to account for all that stuff. And what did I hear? Honestly, not a lot. They're very close. Sometimes I think I hear a difference in certain clips, and sometimes I'm not sure. If I do, what I think I hear is that with the unfinished body, there's a little bit more going on in the top end. With the finished body, it's a little bit more percussive, and there's something extra going on in the low mids and something gone from the very high end. But again, I'm not sure, and it varies from clip to clip. Sometimes I think I hear it, sometimes I'm not sure. I'm really curious to find out what you heard and to get your comments. That's the most fascinating part of these shootouts to me. And incidentally, I know that the word nitro is going to be invoked repeatedly in the comments. Warmoth has no plans to start doing nitro on bodies right now. But based on this test and what I've experienced, if the difference between an unpainted body and the thin poly that Warmoth uses is that small, I have to believe that the difference between poly and nitro is not going to be much bigger, or the difference between an unfinished body and nitro is not going to be much bigger. These differences you can really only hear in an isolated test where they're back to back. Taken in the context of playing a guitar all by itself or in the mix or in a band, the differences are very small. Now, there are other differences I know with nitro. There's definitely a tactile difference. There's a difference in the way it wears. Poly stays looking new forever, but nitro develops a patina and ages in a way that many find attractive. And there's also nostalgia, which I'm not going to make a judgment whether that's good or bad, but we should acknowledge that there's an element of nostalgia in wanting nitro. But tone-wise, I am not convinced that having paint, or what kind of paint it is going to make like a night and day difference. We're talking like a gnat's eyelash here. Very, very small differences. Anyway, those are my observations. Let me hear yours. If you have any questions on this, on the pickups, the bridge, the paint, any of that stuff, the links are in the description. You can visit the Warmoth website, which has been updated and is much faster now, by the way. You can give our CSRs a call. You can do all those things. You can leave a message for me in the comments. And that's it. That is my non-paint versus paint shootout. I hope you found that information useful. And until next time, keep on picking.